So much fun this morning. David Zier in for Steve Gruber on the Steve Gruber Show. What a great show. We love our audience across America. We are recognizing the forgotten man who's been forgotten once again by the Biden administration. So we got a really special guest. You know, Trump made so much progress in the Middle East, 4 treaties, the UAE-Israel deal. Saudi Arabia is letting, Israel use their airspace. Who'd ever think? And Trump did so many good things for us. We're honored to have on our show Harley Lippman. He's the CEO and founder of Genesis 10. He's an executive committee member of the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, and he helped negotiate these deals. So we're going to get into the elections in Israel that have Arab support for Israel even. Harley, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, your resume is like incredible, really incredible. You're by presidential appointment. You're on the U.S. Commission for Preservation of America's Heritage Abroad, right? The Yale School of Management Board of Advisors. It's really amazing. And then you're with Columbia University Graduate School, International Public Affairs, right?
On their board, yes.
All right, that's
and
really
I'm also
great.
An alum.
You're also what?
An alum. I graduated.
Awesome. Very cool. So let's talk about what's going on with Israel and some of the treaties that have been passed that you helped negotiate.
Yes. Well, right now, what you have in Israel, which is really interesting, you have an election that just took place. And in Israel, it's a parliamentary system. And the key thing is to keep in mind is you need to get 61 seats. There are a total of 120. So it comes down to basically 2 blocks. There's the pro-Bibi Netanyahu block, and then there's the anti-Bibi Netanyahu block. And that's what this is all about. And what makes it so unique and interesting is so many things, but one of them is it has nothing to do with the economy. It has nothing to do with COVID. It has nothing to do with the Palestinians. It's really all about Bibi Netanyahu. So for the first time in Israel's history, an Arab politician, an Arab leader, who is actually the leader of the fundamentalist party, Muslim Brotherhood party, could become a kingmaker in Israeli politics. It's quite extraordinary. And the simple reason is when you break down the votes, while he has only 4 seats, both sides are competing for his support.
Well,
and in the past, he has supported terrorism.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So more than a fifth of Israel's population of 9 million are Arab, right? And the Israelis gave them positions in the Knesset, right? Palestinians in the Knesset. I feel the Arabs always use the Palestinians as a pawn. Right. And but there seems like there's a sea change in that. What's all this new cooperation about?
Well, the leader, Mansour Abbas, went on Israeli television and it was very closely watched. He's a dentist by profession, soft-spoken, and he basically avoided anything political, where in the past he'd speak about the Palestinians. He became very, very pragmatic and practical. He said, I'll work with either side, whichever one wins. Either the Bibi faction, I'll work with him, or I'll work with the anti-Bibi faction. And what am I looking for? He said, I'm looking to help the Arab Palestinians in Israel. And what does that mean? In his area, there's a lot of crime. So he wants more police. Also, he wants more housing for Bedouins. So he wants a bigger slice of the budget. And whoever gives him that, that's what he says he's going with. So he has seemingly changed from being an ideologue who is very hostile to Israel. He now accepts Israel. He introduced himself as, I'm an Arab, I'm a Muslim, and I'm a citizen of the state of Israel, and we have to all live together and work together. So let's put aside past prejudices and problems, and let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Now,
go on.
So the downside is this could be a Trojan horse.
Right.
And a number of the right-wing parties say, we will not go with you, Bibi, if you do an alliance with this guy. On the other hand, this could create for the first time the political integration of Palestinian Arabs in Israel, which has never really happened before.
Right.
Because the Arab.
Yeah, go on.
Because,
we have about a minute.
Yeah, because the Arab political parties have never been part of the Israeli government. So for the first time, they would be part of it, and they're trying to approach it in a pragmatic way. So this is an extraordinary development.
Right. So it's the first time in the 73-year history of Israel that there'll be an Arab party. But we don't have much time to get into it. But is this about maybe aligning with the Sunnis versus the Shiites in Iran? Are they unifying a little bit because to put pressure on Iran? We only have about 30 seconds.
In Israel, the Arabs there are Sunni. So what this is about is an Arab-Israeli-Palestinian party that has been marginalized and now may become legitimate and part of the Israeli government, and where this Mohammed Abbas will be the kingmaker in making a coalition for either the Bibi group or the anti-Bibi group.
That's really great, everybody. Harley Lippman, can we have you back on again as these things heat up?
With pleasure. We'd love to.
It's an exciting time. It is, and it's kind of heartening to see some degree of cooperation, right? So everybody, Harley Lippman, he's the CEO of Genesis 10, the founder. Welcome. Thank you for coming on, and we look forward to having you back, Harley.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, this is Dave Zier. You're watching the Steve Gruber Show, and we'll be back with more.
Got it in me, oh, gonna quit until it